Welcome to the Straight Up, No Bullshit, The Don Hanston Show. Our hosts are going to push the limits, but create an environment where it's safe to uncover the crap that holds you back so you can survive the mediocrity of today's life. And they'll be admitting and revealing their own experiences so you can learn the skills and attitude you need to be who you are. No bullshit. Warning to all listeners, if you have thin skin and get offended easily by harsh, direct, or somewhat offensive content and language, then this podcast may be overwhelming. However, we believe pulling your blinders off and viewing things from a real perspective may feel invigorating and may be the very thing that may cause you to expand your capabilities exponentially. Now here's your host.
Just 2 days ago, the joint session of Congress met with what our first president, George Washington, started in the year 1790. This is Straight Up, the Don Hanston Show. Welcome, everyone. We're going to be discussing what normally is called the State of the Union Address, but now it's just the address to Congress because President Trump hasn't been in the office that long. We're going to be discussing that. Don, welcome.
Hey, Sal, how are you today?
I'm doing okay. I know this has been in the news the last couple days, this State of the Union. Actually, the name is the Joint Session of Congress is what they're calling it because he's only been in office like 40 days. So it's a different name, but it's basically the same thing. That happened 2 days ago, and I'm curious, Don, what your perspective is on that. And we're going to try to break down a few things. So just overall, what did you think?
Well, I didn't see it in real time. I saw the YouTube link, and I just finished it up this morning. And actually, everything he said, I mean, he's given credit to the people that deserve credit. He's making decisions that's going to do the right thing for the American citizen, help the economy, keep us safe, all the correct things. He's creating a lot of really good things for us. And the sad perspective is, they had the crowd was, you had on the left and the crowd on the right and the lefties. They did not clap even when they were showing like people who have died. A policeman died and he had his wife on there. They didn't clap for her. They had a young boy that had brain cancer that should have been dead, and he deputized him and made him part of the CIA, and this kid almost had tears in his eyes, brought joy to him. Yeah. There was all these really, really, really good things. He gave a lot of people credit for what they needed. And the left they looked disgusted. As a matter of fact, they looked like a lot of them looked like they were in tears. Now there was I don't know how many people there were, but let's just say on the lefties, let's just say there was 200 people. Maybe there was 5 to 10 people that actually were clapping for some of these things, but they didn't want to let too many other people know, which really makes me realize that I'm correct when I say that these people are possessed. They're about the demon. They're about the wrong things in life. They're about destruction of the American public. They're about destruction about everything that has to do with the United States and enriching themselves only. And they looked like they had tears in their eyes, and it goes back to exactly what I said. They are the crooks. They are the criminals. And I think that they know that they don't like any of this stuff because it's all going to backfire. And one real quick perspective on this was, I don't know if you noticed it, but I watched it real closely. And when President Trump was talking about specific things, he was looking at certain people in the crowd to see how they would react. Oh, yeah. So you know how like when you say something that somebody's doing and you're looking at them, they give you that tell. And I think that that's exactly what President Trump was doing. And it was kind of cool. What I liked about it was I felt like he was he said a lot of things that were all accurate and true, but a lot of things that were holding the accountability to these people that were not accountable. And I thought it was, honestly, I thought it was excellent. I mean, I don't know how the guy come up with that many good points. It was phenomenal.
I thought it was good. And these are things that you did not see. And some of them you touched on. You did not see the Democrats clap for a little boy who was battling brain cancer, should have been dead 5 years ago. They didn't clap for any peace in Ukraine. The Democrats didn't clap for victims that were affected by crimes committed by illegal aliens. I know they had Laken Riley's mother there and sister, and then Jocelyn's mother. They didn't clap for protecting women in sports. They also didn't clap for ending waste, fraud, and abuse in the government. Those are key issues. And you know what? I get that Democrats, Republicans, Independents, but when you can't stand and clap for those things, let's just take the Ukraine out of it and all that. But for the kids, it's just sickening. I don't understand how these people can function. And I think what they're doing is they're burying themselves further and further. Because, you know what, I think a lot of the elections now, especially this last one, I think was decided a lot on independents, such as myself. And I think when an independent would see something like that and hear that, you know, that's why Trump won by a landslide. That's why he won all the swing states. So I think they're not learning their lesson. You would think they would do a complete 180 or something and turn this around. But they're not. They're just sticking, you know, they showed the clips, you know, they're sitting there on their phones. They're holding up those stupid little paddles. I mean, one of them said, Musk steals. That guy's worth $600 billion. He's stealing. It just didn't make any sense to me.
Well, I mean, the theme of the whole thing on the Democratic side was they geared up to try to poo-poo the whole thing, right? They already had made ping pong panels that say he's lying, Elon's stealing, all the whatever these things said, you know, false, untrue, whatever these things said. So they already made these things. It was an agenda, right?
Yeah.
And then they were probably told, you don't stand up, don't clap, don't do nothing. I'm sure there were some people because not every single person that's a Democrat is a horrible person, a demonic person. But then again, go to the other side. Not every single Republican is a good person either. So,
True.
I mean, there's people in the party doesn't mean that's the type of person that you are, but it was already deemed as an agenda. If they already had ping pong paddles with prints on there to hold them up, they were not there to support president, right? They were not there to support our enriching our economy. They were not there to support our safety. They were not there to support peace in Ukraine or any of the other countries. They were not there to support the fact that he's bringing back law enforcement and allowing them to, you know, protect us as citizens and protect themselves so they can protect us. Mm-hmm. But they were there, right, to cheer for the criminals. And they were there to cheer for the illegal immigrants that fled across the country. They were there to cheer for war and boo against peace. They were there for all the destructive reasons. And when I was watching it, all I could say was these people are directed by the devil. Okay, they are demonic people. They are not good people. When you are for destruction of people and everything else, that just shows that you're a suppressive person. When you're a suppressive person, you're an evil person, right? You're directed by the wrong person. You're not. And anytime he talked about God or anything else, they either booed or made noises. They're against God, okay? They're against what has put us here on this earth because, you know, on an evil perspective, they don't believe in God, right? They don't believe in God. How could you not believe in God? That's how short-sighted these people are. So I think that the whole thing it's awesome to see. I never was really into politics like I am now, but it's really
welcome.
It's a telling tale to where these people are coming from. They're not coming from a good place, a place where I love and I want to help, right? And I want people to get better and things to get better. They want things to get worse, except for their bank accounts. Their bank accounts and their power, they want to go up. So it's been the same conversation, but they keep proving it time after time after time. And I think Trump's right. And I think by rubbing it in their face and showing the American public that even when they had Kennedy and he said and he's going to make America healthy again and they booed him or whatever they did. Yeah. And then he said, well, you would think that the Democrats would have cheered you on, but how quickly they forget. So the bottom line is they'll throw you under the bus as soon as you don't support their agenda. So it's a cult and it's a bunch of nonsense. And I am so glad that they're not in charge. But I will tell you, I think that the last 4 years, as destructive as it was, I think was important that it happened that way, because I think it really brought people to life to understand that these
Yeah.
people are destroying you as an individual, your children, your bank accounts, your investments, everything that you
Yeah.
have to make yourself better. They are destroying it to enrich themselves. And I think it's never become more aware than it's been in the last 4 years. And I think by Trump bringing this up in all of his speeches and showing proof and how he's working on making things better, I think that people are, even the Democrats, I think that a lot of these people are coming unglued to that whole thing, and I don't think that these people will ever get elected in again for a long time.
Well, it's funny you said that, because on the last show I talked about that I was going to bring up a study that I did a little research into. And this study, when I tell you about it, it's going to tie into exactly what you just said. It actually started in 1951, and they kept doing it years after, and the one I watched was in the 70s, and it's called the Ash Conformity Study. And basically what they did is they took 8 people, and they put them in a room, and they showed them pictures of lines. They had one line and then another picture of lines, and they said, which line looks more like the line that the main picture is? Which ones are the same? And the first 2 rounds, now you had one person in this group, I guess I should have said, that didn't know what was going on. The other 7 people were part of the study. In the first round, all the 7 people that were in on it, the actors, picked the correct line. They did 2 studies of that. Then on the third study, they had all the 7 actors pick the wrong answer. And they always took the person who they were given the study to as last. And when they asked him, even though he knew the line that wasn't a right answer, he gave the wrong answer with the rest of them. He conformed to what they were saying time and time again. And they've done this study over and over, that even sitting there knowing, wow, these 7 people, they're not giving the right answer. But because they kept giving the same answer, he wanted to conform. And I think that relates to the Democrats and basically what you just said. I think there is a lot of Democrats that sit there, that have to sit there and say, oh, that poor kid with brain cancer, but they're not going to show anything because they're going to conform to their allegiance on the left. So I think that directly relates to what you were saying. And it's sad, because I'm sure there are a lot of good Democrats out there, but you're right. They rather look at their phone. They'd rather hold up these little signs, which meant nothing. Every time Trump said something, they would hold up a line. That's a lie. That's a lie. I didn't hear. Now, does Trump exaggerate? Yes. And I wish he wouldn't do that, but I get it. He does. He's a businessman. He's a rich man. But he didn't lie about anything, and we could back it. If me and you could back it, I'm sure everybody in the media in Congress could back it. But yet they just sit there and they say he lied.
So you said, I'm sure some of these Democrats are good Democrats or good people. They, but they couldn't speak against their party. Right. Well, my question to you is that make a good person? Like, if you know somebody's doing wrong and creating destruction for others, and you go along with it, does that mean you're a good person just going along with the bad people? No, that makes you part of it. Okay?
They're there for the people. They're there for us.
You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Okay? Mm-hmm. So if you're with a bunch of liars, a bunch of thieves, a bunch of killers, whatever it may be, that's who you are. If you are amongst a bunch of people, the 5 people that are successful and honest and God loving and considerate types of people, that's who you are. Okay, so when these people surround themselves with these other people that are demonic, they conform. They conform. Okay, and it goes along with the brainwashing, and the brainwashing is nothing more than common agreement. I agree with this. I agree that we need to let more illegal citizens in, and I agree with, and they agree, and everyone agrees. They have to agree if they want to be part of that party, and they want to be part. And the only reason that they want to be part of that party is because they're enriching themselves. There's a I agree that it's a power and monetary gain to be around those types of people. As soon as there's no more gain, as soon as there's no more power to instill in these people, they're going to abandon that shit, okay? As soon as these people start going to jail, as soon as they start auctioning their houses, as soon as it gets unveiled, all the crap that these people have been doing and all the harm that's happened to the U.S. citizens, once these people find out, I don't think that they're just going to say, oh, it's okay, little Joey, just go along. And no, I think that there's going to be serious repercussion. And when that starts happening and they're no longer getting enriched or empowered, I think that people are going to be abandoning these idiots, okay? And I hope so. And I hope that they go to prison for all that they've done. Because if you watch this thing again, take a look at the people when he's talking about certain issues. They have tears in their eyes. Why do you have tears in your eyes? Because you're going down, because you're a crook and you're being unveiled. That's why you got tears in your eyes.
It's their agenda is just something I don't understand. And it's funny, you brought up the border crossings. They had new stats that just came out last night. In February of 2024, last February, 189,913 illegals came in just in that month. Over 108, almost 190,000.
200,000.
I'm sorry, 200,000. Thank you. And in February of this year, just last month, 8,326. Now, these are encounters. Look at those numbers. You're talking 200,000 to almost 8,500 encounters. The people are stopped coming.
It's 4%.
Yeah,
it's 4%.
And the Democrats are still, they want it. Now, they even had, did you see in the beginning, the Congressman Al Green stand up, which he had planned on doing. He already filed paperwork for a motion to impeach Donald Trump before that address anyways. Now, you got to see him stand up with his cane and yell. Well, just before we went on the air, I was watching. As of right now, they're in Congress, they're voting to censure him, which means he will have no rights or nothing. That's usually like for a governor or something. If she's censored, she can't vote or anything. For him, it's mostly just a shame on you because he'll still be able to go to Congress. But right now, it was 205 to censure him versus 194. Obviously, pretty much along political lines. But there was about maybe 10 Democrats that voted to censure him. So I'm sure even some of the Democrats were like, you can't do that. You can't have that disruption during these addresses. But it was interesting that he had planned that beforehand. And just like you said, they planned with the little paddles because they had it all planned out. And they all knew that Al Green was going to, not the singer, Al Green was going to stand up and start screaming at Trump and then had to be escorted out.
Well, yeah, exactly. So like you said, it got voted, amongst party lines. But, the people that are the truly good people that are in the Democratic Party, okay, they see that. And they see that these people like this are tarnishing the name of the Democratic Party. Like you can't wash that stain off your coat, right? When this guy is jumping up, he's gonna create havoc during a congressional meeting, like and about because he doesn't like the person. It had nothing to do with nothing except for he didn't like the person that was talking.
He said he was an illegitimate president and he shouldn't be president because he wants to save Medicaid. Be it Al Green wants to say. So this big thing was him and Medicaid. So he's just going to get up and scream and then try to impeach him. Good luck.
Did you take a look? I hate to sound too stereotypical, but did you take a look at that guy? When I never seen that guy before. I don't really know politics.
Yeah,
like
I've seen him a few times.
He looks like
Trump.
a scumbag. He looks like a scumbag.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like go get a haircut, go get a shave. Go learn how to create a little bit of manners, okay? If you're part of the
Congress
elected, institution of the government, okay, behave like one, okay? If you're gonna behave like a high schooler that's been ejected from school, right? Like that's how you're gonna act, and then you expect people to say this is a really good member of Congress. Like the guy's a dirtbag, and even if he had the right intentions, that's not how you act. Okay, you have to act professionally. Okay,
not. Right.
And when you get on stage like that, you're in front of America, and you're going to act like an idiot like that. Okay, how do you think? How do these people think that reflects on them? The people love it. Oh yeah, I want to look just like that guy. Guy looks like a scumbag. I want to act like that guy. That guy acts like a scumbag. I want that guy as part of my government because the guy acts like a dirtball. Like nobody likes that. The only one that likes that are the ones that hate Trump, and the ones that hate Trump, I'm telling you, especially the ones in Congress, are the crooks. Yeah. Those are the people that are going down. That's the only reason they hate him. And it's real common. So, like if you looked again, I'm going to go into the stereotyping, but if you looked at the right side, the Republican side, and I was never a Republican or Democrat. As a matter of fact, I used to be Democrat. Mm-hmm. And then you looked at the other side. Okay, the people, Republicans, right? They had haircuts. They were dressed nice. They act nice. They said thank you. You know, they put their hand on their heart. Thank you. They were sincere, kind, nice people. They stood up for the right things. Then you look on the other side, right? A lot of those people, not all, but a lot of those people look like scumbags. Mm-hmm. They stood for the wrong things, okay? And they did not act professionally, right? Like if I was part of the Democratic Party, you gave me a ping pong paddle to hold up to say he's he's lying or Elon steals or whatever they put on there. I'd be like, you know what, dude, I'm good. I don't need a ping pong paddle. You know what I mean? I'm there because I'm part of the government. You know what I mean? I want to hear what's going on.
Conformity.
Right. Right. And if I don't agree with them, then I don't agree with them. But for me to like act like I'm in kindergarten, that's just a reflection on me that I'm just another idiot that's going along with the agenda that these idiots put together. So I don't necessarily agree with bringing yourself down to a level that somebody else is making you. And it's suppression 101. When somebody puts their foot on your head and pushes you down and you go along with it without fighting, you're being suppressed, okay? But if you fight through it and you're like, no, I don't want that foot on my head, and you raise up, you're not going for it. So you could still be part of a Democratic Party and still be a decent person. Doesn't mean that you're a scumbag like most of them. But it's just kind of funny. You allow it to happen. You conform. You go along with the program. And before you know it, you all look like you're in kindergarten.
Yeah, even some of them were holding up dry erase boards. I'm like, come on. What are we doing here? You know? I'm sure they had a nice group of paddles that they could pick from. But some of them are holding up dry erase boards and stuff like that. It just looks so cheap. And I think a lot of the people who are maybe Democrats, maybe on the fence a little bit, they're going to see that and go, what an unprofessional group of people that these are, that I'm with.
That's who represents me. These people represent me. Al Green with the ponytail and the cane and screaming in a congressional meeting. That guy represents me. I don't want nothing to do with that guy.
Yeah, he's 9th District out of Texas. Out of Texas, believe it or not. I mean, they're very Republican. But he's out of the 9th District in Texas, and I'm pretty sure they're going to censure him, and that's a good thing. It's kind of like a slap on the wrist, but at least he gets a little embarrassed. But you even heard them try to shout Trump down in the beginning, and then the Republicans were just chanting USA to drown him out. It was just, and I watched video of the last State of the Union address that Biden had. You watched the video of that? All the Republicans stood up. All the Republicans clapped because they respected the office. This group of people, not at all. Not one bit. And I think it shows. And I think that's why it's so important to say they're not learning their lesson. They're not. Well, and that's a good thing.
There's a level of class, right? Like, I don't know if you heard it, but I heard it growing up, right? You can't teach class, right? And I think that's got a lot to do with it, like respect, class, humility, like honor, all the things that we should instill in ourselves and our families. Okay, it feels like again, we were Democrats early on, right? We all voted Democrat no matter who was voting, no matter who was running. But it didn't used to be like it is now, where you just got these people that are out of their fucking minds. But anyways, now it seems like the party with class, right? The party that is there for the right reasons, the party that gives credit to the correct people, the party that stands up regardless of who on stage, the party that is respectful, right?
Yeah.
Is the party that I want to represent me. I don't want some bunch of scumbags, lying, cheating crooks to represent me on top of stealing my money and making things bad
And the
for me.
majority of people feel that way, obviously, with the results.
And so, I'm in agreement. You're going to go to this thing, you put on some nice clothes, you act professional, you act respectful, regardless if you like what's going on stage or not. And so if you can't act like that, I don't understand why people want these as their political leaders, right? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I really don't believe that a lot of these people were elected anyways, Mike Duran, all of that. But it's really this simple, right? Who wants good things for the American public and who wants destructive things for American public?
You mean the two guys that are not taking a paycheck? And they're putting their life on the line and their reputation and everything else to try to better the company or the country, excuse me.
They already got all the money in the world. They already got all the money in the world. And then the other thing is too, right? You got common sense, right? And you got total hypocrisy, right? Those are what they stand for. This one stands for common sense and logic, and this one stands for hypocrisy and
ideology.
Yeah. And so, like, is that really what people want? Like, I can't even fathom that. Like I always said, that 2 people would vote for those people in the whole world. I mean, it's so ridiculous. And again, I hate the fact that right now these are hot topics. That's why we're talking about politics, and it's very interesting. But I think that we're on a point right now where the world was either going to totally go away, okay, or it was going to have to succeed. And it goes back to what I always say: things either get better or they get worse. Nothing stays the same. And I think that we were at a point where things were getting so bad that it was getting to the point of no return. And right now, for them to even elevate this at all, which we're still feeling bad times, but you can feel it getting better, it's going in the right direction. And that's all I can say about that.
Well, yeah, I'm a little worried about the midterms, though. So I'm hoping still, you always got to worry about the cheating again and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. And you have a guy who, like I said, is not even taking a paycheck. Didn't take a paycheck in 2016. And he doesn't have to do this. I know we've heard that before. Him and Elon Musk don't have to do this. Elon's got the life that everybody would want. I mean, you're talking the richest man in the world. He doesn't need to do this. He doesn't need to have half the people in Congress hate him. Just like Trump. He could have a great life. Supermodel wife. He's got a great family. Good, successful family and kids. He doesn't need this crap, but he wants to better the people. And you have that left side, the far left, who are just demonizing him constantly. And I think it's getting old, and I think America is starting to wake up based on November 5th, and I'm hoping it does. Now we got a few minutes left, Don.
Well, let me kind of finish it out with something.
Yeah.
And, I'm not going to get into religion and everything else, but I am going to say that when you have God, you have Jesus Christ, and you have Lucifer, you have the devil, right? The people that are against God are going to do everything they can to invalidate, right? To attack, right? Mm-hmm. They don't want things to get better. They want God to go away, and they want more people to follow their leader, which is Lucifer, right? And but what they don't realize is Lucifer. It's it's temptations, right? Temptations for things that you don't really need. And when people take a bite of that forbidden apple, all it does is it makes things worse for them. In their mind, they think things are getting better, but things are getting worse. So they're all about destruction. And right now, that's how I view the Republican and the Democratic parties.
Yeah.
I view it like the Democratic Party, their Christ, their leader is Lucifer, okay? And they're all demonic, and they're all like possessed people. And then I feel like the right, okay, is the opposite. They want betterment. They want to cherish the people that help them. They want to give credit to the people that deserve credit. They want to give empathy to the people that have that have dealt with a lot of the bad things that the Lucifer people have brought down on them. People getting shot, the diseases because of all the crap that they've allowed in foods because they've taken money from the corporations. Like all the bad things that the Lucifer people have done, they show empathy toward them.
Yeah.
Now, it's really that simple to me, and they want to take down Christ. And Christ, and we all know that Christ and God, right, is our Savior, and and you cannot take him down. Okay, so at the end of the day, the one that's always going to win are the people that want good things for others and the people that want to help others.
Well, I very well put, and I hope people pay attention to that as we're wrapping up here. On our next show, though, which is coming up in probably a few days, I just want to tell everybody, we're going to talk about the 5 mayors from the sanctuary cities that had to report to Congress yesterday. Got some pretty good comments out of that, and we'll let you guys know what's going on. New York, Colorado, Boston, Chicago, all of them are represented. So on the next show, we're going to kind of touch that. And as we wrap up here, we want everybody to subscribe to the channel if you can. Definitely subscribe. Hit that bell up at the top so you get notified every time we post a new episode. And here's the important thing. If you disagree with us, if you have a problem with something that we're saying, make a comment. Comment after you subscribe. Let us know. And also let us know if you agree with us, what you're thinking. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. Along with Don Hanston, I'm Sal. Thanks for joining us on Straight Up, the Don Hanston Show. We will see you next time.
Good day, guys.
Thank you for tuning in to the Straight Up, No Bullshit, the Don Hanston Show. We hope we enlightened you and expanded your perspectives with our bold and honest discussions about what might be holding you back from being your genuine self. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to the next episode. If you want to know more, go to straightupnobullshit.com. We'll see you next time.